It is October, so I should have been much better prepared for the cold snap that we just had in the Washington, D.C. area. As soon as the temperatures went down, I ran outside to pick my Mad Hatter peppers before they kind of shriveled up on the vine. Look at how beautiful these peppers are. They're so unique and the shape is just wild. I think I want to stuff them, but I don't want to compromise the shape because they are, like I said, just truly beautiful. And I don't know what to stuff them with, so I feel like I've kind of gotta do some research. I've definitely got to look and see what kind of 80s inspiration I might have for these peppers. My mind immediately goes to Tom Petty and that music video he did in the 80s where he played the Mad Hatter. But anyways, I know that I can come up with something that's not only delicious, but an ode to the 80s and a tribute to these gorgeous peppers that I've been growing. I'm not sure why I thought this could be anything but a tribute to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Alice in Wonderland themed music video, Don't Come Around Here No More. I've got the Mad Hatter covered with the peppers, and I'm really running with the black and white theme from the Tea Party in the music video for my filling. I've got some onions and garlic that I'm sauteing in a little bit of olive oil. And now let's pop over here for a little bit. In this pot, I've got a can of pre-made red enchilada sauce, and to that I'm gonna add a little bit of cocoa powder. Kind of what I'm doing here is making a mole inspired topping and something that'll actually go in the peppers as well. Once the onions and garlic are translucent, add a can of drained black beans. Stir that around just to kind of get them warmed through. And then we want to definitely add a pinch of salt here. And then I love adding some dry oregano as well. This is where things start to get really interesting. You want to kind of go in there with the potato masher and mash your beans. I want some whole beans in there, but you do need this mixture to stick together. Now this is looking very dry, and that's the way it should look. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of that Choco Enchilada sauce that we made, and that'll help this all kind of come together. And now an ingredient you probably were not expecting. I've got some walnuts here. These are walnuts that I kind of put in some hot water and let them sit for about 20 minutes. So they've been soaking for a little bit and they can soften up and add a nice chew to this. I really love this in this filling. So this is the part where you want to taste the filling. It really should pack a nice little punch. So you might need to add a little bit more enchilada sauce to it, and that's just fine. We want it to pack a punch because remember, these are going inside of little peppers. So we want every bite to be super flavorful. My little secret to really spicing anything up is Trader Joe's taco seasoning mix. I keep one open like this in my cupboard and I just kind of sprinkle it over whatever I'm cooking if I need that extra little kick added to any kind of filling, especially when it's going to be a filling for a pepper. I totally remember the music video for Don't Come Around Here No More because of the very vivid Alice in Wonderland theme. Plus it was one of those videos that was constantly playing on night tracks and Friday night videos and MTV. Tom Petty obviously plays the Mad Hatter, and in one scene he's sitting in front of this giant cup of tea. Well, Alice ends up in that teacup, and a super visual aspect of this video is Tom Petty releasing giant sugar cubes onto Alice as she kind of wades around in the teacup. Very visual, very trippy, and obviously very memorable. The amount of space you get from inside each pepper does vary, but it's enough to put a nice amount of filling in, maybe about a teaspoon to a tablespoon, and then of course we're gonna have some fun toppings. So let me cut one open. I just cut the very tippy top off with my paring knife, and also you can see they come with quite a few seeds, but if you've got a good paring knife, you can kind of scrape most of those seeds away pretty easily from the top. And then on the inside, it's very much like a bell pepper. You kind of go in and get rid of that membrane, and then you can just kind of take your finger in there, rip out the big part, and then scrape the rest away with your paring knife. Once you've hollowed out all of your peppers, go ahead and start packing in that mixture. I just did this one, really cute. Now let's go ahead and do this one. I think it helps if you use a really small spoon. I don't actually love the spoon that I'm using, but it's what I had on hand, so I just grabbed it and I'm using it. Pack it into each of those little lobes because we want to make sure that when you bite into each of these peppers, the filling is in every little nook and cranny. I forgot to mention that I brushed a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of this casserole dish before I put my peppers in there. So what I'm doing now is I'm topping each pepper with a little bit of the mole sauce. Put some aluminum foil on the top of this, and then we're gonna put this in a 350-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Basically what we need to do is we need the peppers to soften up and that filling to heat through before we do our final step that really hits home that black and white theme. I'm really excited for this Forager's vegan queso fresco because this is exactly the kind of cheese I want on top of my peppers. I'm really putting a lot on each pepper too because I don't want to see any of the sauce poking through. After about 10 more minutes in the oven uncovered, I pulled them out and topped them with half of a black olive, and I love how they came out. Now I know you really can't see the whole black and white theme now. Actually, you know what? That looks like it's pretty much a mess, but I promise once we plate it, it'll look much more refined. Refined enough for a 1980s tea party. Towards the end of the music video gets really crazy. Alice turns into a cake and then has to watch as party guests slice into her and eat that cake. So if it wasn't for the fact that I already had Mad Hatter peppers, I would have totally challenged myself and made a cake shaped like Alice. You think that was weird? Well, at the very end of the video, Tom Petty, as the Mad Hatter, swallows Alice, burps, and then smiles at the camera. I'm gonna post the video in the description box down below, so please let me know if you've seen it before and what you think about Tom Petty as the Mad Hatter. I love how these came out. The beautiful colors of the pepper, plus the black and white theme is there because we used the beans and the black olives and the cheese. So perfect. Did want to note that I baked these just until the peppers got soft, but they retained the shape of the pepper themselves, which of course, you know, like I've said, I love. Okay. The beans have a nice little kick to them. The walnuts add a great little bite. And let me tell you, that cheese on top is really creamy and delicious, that vegan cheese. And the star is still the pepper. These peppers are yummy, a cross between a green pepper and a sweet pepper. So good. If you don't have Mad Hatter peppers, you can easily use those little mini peppers that you find at the grocery store these days. And you can always put the filling into a larger pepper to make this more of a main dish. But I love them small and bite-sized because that makes them perfect for an Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter themed tea party.